Hi, it's Michelle Maher here again today, and I'm here with Carolyn Dickinson. Carolyn, thank you so much for giving me your time today to talk about what we're going through and help fellow small business owners and moms to navigate through this time of uncertainty that we've never experienced before. So
Michelle, thank
thank
you
you.
so much for having me. I'm so grateful, and I love to talk. So this is a great opportunity for me as well. I love sharing my knowledge. So as much as I can give to help people, I'd love to do so.
That's great. Thank you. So, as we were saying kind of before here, and why I started this in the first place was that I felt that I was really getting consumed with fear. And the fear was contagious, and the panic was contagious because whether it be social media or people that are in my life, friends, family, everybody was starting to panic when I guess when sports were canceled. I mean, to me, that's kind of the thing. Like when they cancel sports, you know
Kind of
that
scary.
something, yeah. And I'm not a sports fan at all, except of course the Raptors championship last year. But yeah, so I found myself getting sucked into that whole grocery store shopping experience and ending up at Costco on Friday, the
Right.
13th. um yeah, so getting through that, then on the weekend it was kind of like, I think it was okay Saturday, and then by Sunday was when I woke up and had my shower, and it just kind of came to me that I wanted to create a group and start interviewing, because I know a lot of people that are amazing people with so much knowledge and so much to offer the world. And if I was getting sucked into that whole rabbit hole of fear, I didn't want to stay there. I knew I didn't want to
Right.
stay there.
Right.
And so I thought this would be a great way for us to switch everything around and realize that we have an opportunity now,
Yeah.
to, whether to, to work on our business, work on ourselves, be home with our family, be home with our kids, that kind of thing. So I know you are, of course, a small business owner as well, and you are at home with two kids.
Two kids, a husband, and a dog.
And fortunate for the dog, although I did see a meme with a dog, showed the dog passed out on the kitchen floor and said, "Another walk?"
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Our dog though would be like, yes, 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 let's go.
yeah, 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 yeah. So that's the thing. It's challenging, right? For
For
you,
sure.
you were traditionally, you work at home, but you also have clients that you go see and things like that. But I know for some people it's a total different shock. Like it's a total different environment for them, where they're used to working in an office all day and they're at home. Or at the same time, people are at home, your kids are at home, they're not at school. The
Right.
whole routine thing has gone out to, gone away.
100%, 100%. And it's very challenging. I've actually been talking to some of the moms from the school that my kids go to, and they're running into challenges on how to schedule. So it's funny, they're all calling me as well. So, and I'll be honest, when this stuff started hitting, I was a little more calm about it. And then I had some moments of like, what the heck is going on here? This is insane.
Yeah.
And I think the key to this is, you're right. You got to stay calm, and fear takes over. That's going to be very difficult. So what you want to do is, I'm always, how I get rid of fear is finding solutions, being solution oriented, figuring out what is it can I actually do. And so what we started to do when we realized that the kids were going to be home for another 2 weeks, and I'm thinking, oh God, I have clients. Luckily for me, I'm on Zoom with most of my clients, and I can pretty much do all aspects of my business online.
Right.
So that's great for me. But I'll tell you, when I left corporate and came into running my own business, there was some transition time where it was very difficult, because corporate is working a job is very different. You're working 9 to 5. Sometimes you're working extra hours. You're used to a chaotic world where you're go, 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 go. Now you're at home and you've got to still do work, but you've got other stuff going on around you that isn't work related. So one of the things that we did when all this started to happen, and I said to my husband, we need to create a schedule. And first he goes, why? I go, because we have kids, because I have a business. You know, luckily for him, he's often getting paid because of the job that he has. But for me, I have to work like you, right? To make money as entrepreneurs. And so it was like, okay, we need to create something. I don't want the kids not to have, like, I don't want them to have a month holiday, because that'll be really hard to get them back on track. So I said, let's set something up. Let's be just really focused about it. And so we created a schedule, and I had got my kids involved, and I said, what are we going to do? So I said, mommy still has to work. Daddy's off, which helps because then he helps with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I can focus my time. So I said, let's get up 7 o'clock. We'll have breakfast, take the dog for a walk as a family, come back. I'll start working. They get to do 2 hours worth of studies. And there's a lot of great things. So for example, if your children are younger, a lot of their textbooks and workbooks can be found online. So all you have to do is look up the name of their book and you can find the lessons. That's a great way to just get them working on stuff. If they're older and they're a little more independent, the younger ones you have to work with. So it's booking out some time, even if you're a single mom, or dad is still working because he's on the front line, or mom's working because they're on the front line. You know, basically what you want to do is carve out some time. I find for kids, morning is better. For younger ones, older ones maybe not, but the younger ones, because mine get up, you know, they're up at 6:37 anyway. So I figure, yeah, I know, right? On the weekends. And now they know they don't have to school, they're up on their own even. So it was really about setting some sort of structure where there's family time and work time at the same time that they could have it. So again, we do the 7 o'clock, we do the breakfast, get ready, dog walk, come back, start doing some work for a couple of hours, have lunch together. The thing is, we also made a list of stuff that needed to happen in the house. So we all pick one thing and work it for a couple of hours. For the kids, it's smaller stuff. For me and my husband, it's, you know, he painted the living room. I needed to clean out my office because I could no longer work downstairs anymore in my other office because everybody's home. So it was creating a list of things we needed to accomplish when in the home and giving everybody a responsibility, and they got to choose. So that's the part they liked. And my eldest daughter, who's 11, said, okay, mom, well, what if I did half an hour of this, half an hour of this, half an hour of this, half an hour of this? I'm like, perfect. I don't have to do that part. So it was getting them completely involved in what we're doing, having some choices. Like the study time, it isn't a choice. So they get to choose which one they want to do first, in what order, that kind of thing. So we gave them some choices. And I think for older kids, regardless of that, you want to create a schedule as well. And you create a schedule for yourself. As you said, we were talking earlier before we got on here, we're going to have some what I call character building days, but the days where you just feel like sitting in a corner drinking a bottle of wine, or a glass of wine. Depends on how you're drinking. And I think what that is allow yourself to have those days once in a while, because we all need them. We all have a breaking point and we just got to let it go. I had one recently and I was dysfunctional for a day and I just was okay with it. I had to just be present with it. And because I did that, the next day I was much more productive. My mind was straight again. I was able to get back on track. I was present for my clients. Like things just started to get back to whatever normal is anymore. But I think that's what makes a big difference. There's a lot of stuff that people are offering you. Look for some free things. You don't need to spend a ton of money right now.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of
all
sales.
kinds.
There's all kinds of stuff out there to help support you in what you're doing. Like we're even offering a free 15-minute call with me. No sales, no anything. If you have a question, I can help you. We put that link on social media. I get what it's like to be in this state and not sure what to do next. And sometimes just, you know, my clients that work with me have me as a sounding board as well. Not just about regimented, this is how you do your business. I become their sounding board. And having that ability to chat with someone who isn't in your world and can take a different perspective can sometimes shift you just like that with a couple of ideas or nuggets that could move a few things forward. So you also talked about what are some of the things that we can do. So as a business owner, my things to do were, okay, you know, I wanted to create another online course. So I started doing that. I want to create 2 more masterclasses. So I started doing that. I started a book over Christmas, wasn't able to finish it. So I slotted off time to work on that. And so what I'm doing is just creating time slots. I'm not working the whole day because I do have a family home and, you know, I have to give my husband a break. For sanity reasons. So I carved out that every day I'm working on something for anywhere from, you know, 2 to 4 hours. And it might be in 2 hour time slots. And then I might spend some time working on some stuff or playing a game with the girls. And then the evenings, we just don't work after dinner. It's doing stuff with the kids, because they can't go out. They don't have friends. They're go crazy. So we play cards. We play games. There's, the other day I said, we have friends we usually see every other weekend and we can't. So we actually did Zoom Family Feud Pictionary. And apparently there's a site you can go to and just go and it's apparently Pictionary word selection. And so they actually pick words for you. So you don't have to have cards. You don't have to have anything. I have a portable whiteboard.
You just do it online.
Do it online. So we got onto Zoom, and I already pay for Zoom, so it doesn't matter how long we stay on. And so we just went on, and we were on there for 2.5 hours, chatting, joking, cheering. We had our own drinks. They had their own drinks. They had their kids, our kids. We were just, playing and stuff and having snacks together. So there's a lot of ways to still stay social. I'm a social person. I like that. So I have to have a little bit of it, a balance of it.
Right.
And then scheduling stuff for your kids and for yourself. I think one of the biggest things is a schedule. Now, we do have a free one on my website. So if you're not sure how to schedule, because I know when I say the word schedule, some people go, ooh, and they cringe because it's like another schedule. But this is a fun schedule. This is just like at a week at a glance, what am I going to be doing on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays? And for those of you who are working from home because you have a job or a career and you aren't able to go into the office, the thing you need to realize is because you're at home with less interruptions, I'm hoping, from the office, you can be way more productive. And that was a big transition from me coming from corporate, going into running my own business. I started to become so productive, I could accomplish what took me a whole day in a few hours because I didn't have as many people walking into my office.
Right.
Right? You still have emails you have to respond to. I'm sure there's Zoom calls. I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff happening. But I'm sure it's a bit less. So it's okay to carve out that time and do something else if you got what you needed to do done and not feel guilty about it. That's the other thing that transition from corporate to working from home I had was the guilt. I should be working all day long. It's look at more productivity versus hours. Yeah. I think that's a really strong point to pay attention to. How productive were you and how much did you accomplish? Yes, you know what? In jobs and in business, I could work all day long and all night long and still have more stuff to do. But I watched on City TV about a year ago, and I can't remember her name, but she's an extremely successful business owner, one of the youngest multimillionaires out there. Actually, I think she's a billionaire. I'd have to look up her name. But the thing that stuck in my head that she said, I can only accomplish 3 things in a day. So make a list of the top 3 things you need to accomplish every single day and do those. If you get more done, great. But if you accomplish those 3 things, then you have moved something forward in your business and your life. That in itself feels good because we often make these big long lists. We don't know where to start. So the things are there things right now you could be doing to make yourself money? For sure. Then you approach those. Are there things I could be doing to help other people? Are there things that my knowledge could share? Because creating little videos, another thing that's really important in business is creating a reputation and what you have to offer. Hard sales right now, not the thing to do. Pushing sales on top of people, not the thing to do right now. You're going to have people dislike you. Some people don't care. They have such a great following that they'll just keep doing it and offer specials and deals, and that's great. If you're just starting out, don't push sales. If you're in business right now and depending what you have to offer, this is a great time to provide value, to provide education and knowledge for people, to share things, to build up your reputation of who you are and what you stand for. So it's an opportunity to brand yourself and to do some work that this is going to all calm down. Now, we don't know for sure. They say it's going to go on for months. That could change and it be done in 4 weeks. It could take 5 months. We have no clue. So the biggest thing I can say is prep yourself that when it is, you're ready to go. Get stuff done in your business that you can do. This is a time where I talk about vision and say, work on your business. Right? And your vision might need to change right now that you had originally for your business. This is a great opportunity to take a look at it and go, what do I need to do differently right now? Because you can always go back and change it again. And that's a great thing about, having control over your vision and your plan. You can constantly change it depending on what's going on in your world. So these are some things that I would recommend that people do. And instead of being stressed about what's on the news, be productive in what you're doing and moving things forward. We do need to be aware of what's happening, but I would say
Yes.
reduce the amount of stuff you're listening to on social media. There's a lot of nonsense on there, and then there's a lot of really good facts on there. So you have to be able to wean them out, right? Like, we're not going to run out of stuff. We're producing, we have stuff coming in, we have food coming in. We're not going to starve. You know, the really most important thing is to isolate yourself. There's a lot of people not taking that seriously, and I think that's really important to take seriously. And you're thinking, like, what am I going to do? Well, you know what? You can take a walk. Just take a walk in your neighborhood where no one's around, right? We're not saying stay inside and don't ever come out again. But I think what it is, you know, be responsible. Like, we've passed people. So what I do is I take my kids and my dog and I go on the road. Yeah. Right. So like,
keep your distance, keep your 6.5 feet or whatever it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Right. And I say hello and they're like, oh, can our dogs talk? No, sorry. Right now we're keeping our distance. Like, you know, next time. Thanks. Bye. And just keep going. I don't let my kids play, but I let her ride her own bike. They wear gloves. When we come home, I wash them. Right. Just in case they touch something else. And maybe some people might say, well, you're being overcautious. That's okay. I got to do what I got to do. And you got to do what you got to do. However, you know, there are ways to still create that routine, keep yourself going, keep yourself sane. There's a lot of stresses out there. The government's doing a lot of things. I know that a lot of the banks even are not charging any fees or interest rates on credit cards, that if you call them, you can actually go to your credit card and they'll actually push that away for a month or two. So there's no interest payments or delayed payments. So there's a lot of little things if you contact your bank, if you contact people you're dealing with, that you can take advantage of.
Right. Yes.
That's another way, right? Again, I look for solutions. So when I find solutions, my stress goes away because I'm doing something productive. And so that's what I would, if I leave anybody with the tip, is create a schedule, keep yourself productive and moving forward, doing things to keep your business alive and going, depending what you have. It's really, like, I'm being very general because it really depends what everybody has, right, Michelle?
Oh, yes.
So I'm trying to be as general as possible. I'm sure there's people, if you listen to this, you're saying, well, that doesn't apply to me. Well, some part of it might. It's just digging a little deeper to figure out how does that fit, and what is that solution that I need to find to keep me going and motivated. And if you have a character building day, take it and give yourself permission. Say, this is my day off. I'm having a character building day. But as you said at the beginning, stay there.
Don't stay there. No.
Give yourself a day. I needed a day. I took a day and I said, I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock and I'm getting up early and I'm starting fresh, and I did. And that's it.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's the important thing. You don't want to, no judgment. Don't judge yourself.
No.
You need to acknowledge the fear. You need to acknowledge your emotions. You cannot suppress them. You have to not acknowledge and let them go through you, but they have to go through you and out. And then you go on. And the other important thing is, like we were talking, with respect to creating a routine, is getting up in the morning, getting dressed, you know, putting your makeup on, if that's what you do, doing your hair, you know, putting your jewelry on, as we said.
Yeah, it's true.
Like it will also, it puts you in the right place. It puts you in the mood. It boosts your confidence. It boosts your positivity. You feel better and you feel more motivated to, you know, it sets the tone for your day.
It does. And this applies to everyone all over the world. I have clients all over the world. So for me, you know, I'm telling them the same stuff when I'm talking to them. I'm giving them the same advice that I'm talking about right now. And instead of going, okay, well, you know, I need to make money. I get you need to make money, but what are some of the things that we can do right now to work on your business that you didn't have time to do before?
Yes.
Because what if it's creating that new course? So all of a sudden, when things calm down, you've got 5 more things to sell or 3 more things to sell that you didn't have before. Right?
And ready to go, and ready to go, so that you're not, you know, fiddling. Like that's the thing. Before, everybody felt like rush, go, and your to-do list would be growing and growing with all these things you wanted to get to when you have time, which again is just an excuse because everybody's got the same number of hours in the day. It's what you choose to spend your time on.
100%.
But now you've got some time to because like you say, there's no selling is, yeah,
But it
people
doesn't,
aren't going to be
so
buying things right now to the
but
same
people
extent.
are. So let's just,
They
let's be,
are, but maybe for me,
yeah, but it doesn't mean that
yeah,
they wouldn't. So the thing is, it's the
yes,
approaching of, approaching it a little differently, like being sensitive about it, right? So
right.
I would recommend is giving some value, giving some tips, creating some videos. It doesn't mean you won't
Hmm.
sell anything, right? So at the bottom of
Right,
our emails, like we always have, it hasn't changed. I have an online course, so we're just giving a deal with it. I'm not going to push it in your face, but if you scroll down and decide you want it, it's there. I'm not going to pressure anybody to do anything right now. I've had discovery calls with people that have booked 30-minute discovery calls. That's how I get clients. That's how I talk to potential clients. And
yeah.
I've had people say, well, I want to work with you. I said, okay, great. Well, here's what I'd recommend. Does that work for you? And they're like, yes. So there are people who are still buying and spending
Oh,
money.
definitely. Sorry,
And
yeah.
so don't think there's nothing out there. It's just your approach right now needs to change. So when I talk to them and I'm coaching for that 30 minutes, I say, well, our 30 minutes is up. Did you want to know how we could potentially work together? And they'll say yes or no. And I'm okay with either one. And majority of people are saying yes. And I give them a couple options and talk about what each one is for them. And then they make the decision right there and then, or they call me back and they tell me what they
Right,
want to do. So it's not a
right,
matter of it doesn't exist. It's just, you've got to approach things a little more delicately right now. You don't want to
right,
come across like you're banging people over the head and trying to push sales, because that becomes like a desperation mode, another fear mode that's driving you.
right.
So it's being
Yes,
able
true.
not to be attached by people's decisions, and how can you give as much value as you can. I'm not afraid to give value. I'm not afraid to give things away. And the reason I'm not afraid to do that is because you're either going to do it on your own or you're going to ask for help. Either way is okay with me. And the fact is, some people don't want, I'm that person. I don't want to do certain things. So I will hire people to do that. And I'm clear on that. I don't ever want to do them. It's not
Right,
that I can't, I choose not to. And so some people need that one-to-one, and it allows them to get through something faster. So those people will hire me. Those people who want an online course and want something that's less expensive, but still wants to be able to do something, have been able to access that. And then there's other people who just want the 30 minutes, and I've given it to them.
right,
If I can help them, if I can give them some value, if I can give them some tips so they're not going crazy right now, which some people feel like they are, then I feel like I've helped. And that's kind of what we're offering to do as well, is how can we help you and support you in getting a direction in some way or form to keep moving yourself forward, which is what actually helps dissipate fear.
yes, yeah, right, yes. Action always does get rid of
Right?
fear. Yeah, and it's all. It really is a choice.
It
You
is.
have you have to choose to spend this time, and we're given this time to reflect and be present.
Yeah.
And there's no point in sitting worrying about the future and all of the unknowns and all the things that could go wrong, because that's just again going to pull you into that rabbit hole of fear. But
And we have
rather
no
just,
control.
and we have no control. So what is important is the stuff that you do have control, the stuff
Exactly.
that you can control. um, and the other important thing is taking care of yourself now too,
100%.
right?
So
That's
we've actually, funny enough, we actually joined Beachbody. It's actually, if people wanted, I actually did a blog around all this stuff we're talking about, funny enough,
okay,
that I
great.
sent out to my database. So it's on the website, www.carolyndickinson.com. And I gave a bunch of ideas of things that you could do and the lists of things that you could be creative with. And just a bunch of ideas of things that you can create right now. And it's interesting because in doing all of these things and staying productive, it really does help you feel like you've accomplished something. It really does help you move it all forward much faster than you think. And we have no control of what's going to happen. We have no idea how long this is going to be, how short this is going to be. So the important thing is, yeah, create a schedule, but also be okay to just go from day to day. What's going to happen today? We have a schedule, but if something changes, okay, let's change with it. And I know that's really hard for some people. I know, because I used to be like that. I love change, but I didn't love change. So it was change that I chose. So
Right,
I'm learning to be able to go with the flow. and move through it with ease instead of being completely stressed out about it all the time. Because stress really, there's no benefit to it. It can actually cause
No.
this. So let's just, you
Yeah.
know, deep breathe as well. A lot of deep breathing. I tell my clients every time we start a call right now, let's deep breathe first. Okay, so
Yes.
where do we need to start, right? And you
That's
can
a
start
huge
with
thing.
yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Right now, breathing is a huge thing because I know from myself, when you're rushing around and running like that, you don't breathe. It's shallow
No,
breaths. You
no,
don't deep breathe at all.
we don't.
And
It's so
yeah.
true. We hardly do that. Oh, sorry. I was mentioning the link about Beachbody. Beachbody is
Oh,
fantastic.
yes, Beachbody. Yeah.
So sorry, I put the link in the blog. That's why I was mentioning it.
Yeah.
And basically, you can do it for 14 days for free to try it out. They have everything in there. So they even have family yoga. So we're going to start next week. This week we were just trying to get certain things in order, but to actually do like half an hour of introductory family yoga with Beachbody. And you can put it on your phone and then put it on your TV, which I've just learned to do recently, which apparently your phone can do, which is pretty cool. And the whole family can sit and do yoga. And the thing is, if you want to buy it for the year, it's like $119 for the entire year, full access 24/7 of anything that you want. So if you're feeling the need to exercise from home, it is a great option to use. And no, I'm not getting any benefits from promoting Beachbody. That would be nice, but I'm not.
Right.
Literally, I'm just saying it's a great source to use for exercise if you're not going outside. If you have kids at home, they have actual kid stuff. So specifically for kids. So they even have dance ones. My
Yeah.
girls love to dance. So that's one of the ones we'll pull on, and we've been testing them out to see which ones we like so that we can create a short
Yeah.
list
Yeah.
of ones that we choose to do every day, something, especially on the days it's maybe raining and we can't get outside. So there's some sort of activity involved, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's
Because
another way to do it.
that's very important right now too, is getting the exercise. Everything that boosts your immune system, exercise, um, healthy eating,
Mhm.
sleep,
But it also boosts your
yeah.
morale, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because when we feel like we're not doing anything, that affects us emotionally. So I like this. I'm not I'm not a gym person to begin with. I like my walks, but I do like to dance. So that was something for me to say, okay, we can do as a family, and to really get that little bit of exercise in. Because like Anthony Robbins, Bob Proctor, all of these, famous speakers and stuff will always
Yep.
say, when you physically move your body, you're psychologically you can't stop but change your mental state.
It
So
changes, I think he says about your physiology, right? It
yeah,
changes
so
your
it's about your
physiology.
physiology. When
Yeah.
you're physically moving or doing something, jumping, dancing, it automatically changes your mental and emotional state.
Yeah.
And you can't stop that. It just happens. So if you're feeling off, maybe it's jumping around to your favorite song. I've recommended that to clients before, where you just go have some fun, put on your favorite song and jump around your house. I do that and the dog chases me. So he thinks that's hilarious because he wants to dance with me. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of just being very transparent and talking the real me. This is what I do. I literally do this. I'll see my kids in a state and I'll put on a song and I'll start jumping around. They think, oh my God, it's cool. Mom's dancing. So they come chasing after me. And we have that 10-minute of just letting it all go, and everybody can calm down and then get back to something else. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's what, they call it a stage change when you're speaking. But just have a home change, like all of a sudden, wake everybody up and startle the environment by having a little bit of fun, and then get back to work or do something they need to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's so important, especially now when everybody's home together,
A lot.
where everybody was not home together before. So,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. It was funny. I did see, I know you have dogs. I have two cats, right? And I saw a cat meme that said, why are my servants at home all day now in my
Right.
house, or something like that?
Yeah.
So the
Can't they
cats
just
the cats
go?
aren't appreciative.
No, they're like,
But the
oh.
dogs are happy. Dogs are happy people are home.
Yeah, mine is. He's been following me everywhere too. So he really does like the walks, and he
Oh,
just enjoys being out. Like, he's just so happy to be around us. And we go out and throw a ball, and he doesn't actually pay attention to anyone. He's happy to be with us. He doesn't want to pay attention. He's not interested in other dogs. You tell him to
That's
leave it. He's
great.
like, oh, okay, I'll go chase my ball.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah,
So,
no, it's nice too that is happening in March and not January.
right. So there's,
So
again, the silver lining, right, Michelle? We got to keep looking for the silver lining. And actually, if you
yeah,
want the blog, it's called Chaos to Positivity. So how we can turn our chaos into something positive and find ways to do things that keep us motivated and moving forward. And I think that's the most important thing we all need
it
to do
is.
on some level.
Yes.
I wanted to share with you, we're actually creating a landing page. It's in the process right now, and we're going to offer a bunch of freebies. So there's the calendar is going to be there for the adults. I've created one for kids. My background is also early child education, psychology, and family mediation. So I decided, I used to work with kids for years. Let me create some of the stuff I created for my kids and make them available online for people. So we're going to do that. And all my freebies, my webinars and stuff, we're going to put on there for the parents if they want anything. So they can go on there and find out, all free. So they can just go on and grab the link and they can use it themselves, including our webinar about vision. So if that helps. And it's great to actually do it with kids, believe it or not. It's made for adults, but it's funny because when I was making it, my girls had a lot of fun with it and was asking me what I was doing, and they started creating their own, and they thought that was the coolest thing of what they wanted. And it was more short term, but it didn't matter. So a lot of what's in there can actually be great things for your kids to learn as well right now. So the URL is going to be,
That's great.
yeah. So a lot of the stuff that's in there that's for adults, don't think that your kids can't enjoy it and have some fun with it too. Because a lot of my clients have taken things I've taught them and done it with their kids, and the results have been amazing.
Wow.
Because they're excited, one, to learn what mom's doing, or dad, and the other thing is being able to participate and create their own gives them some motivation and direction of things they want to do.
Right.
The great thing is it can change over and over again, because nothing's going to be definite right now at depending on the age.
Yeah.
But it's a fun thing to do. So that URL is going to be www.carolyndickinson.com/parent resources.
Okay.
So I'll send you the link so that you can add it to this.
Yeah, I'll put it underneath this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll just be, a place where you can go and no sales, but get all the information that you want or may need. Go check it out and use it to your advantage. Have some fun with it.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, Carolyn. It's just nice, like when I saw so much fear on social media and all that at the beginning of this, I think it's changed a lot. There's still stuff, that at least you can use the snooze button for certain people,
right?
if you want to. But there's so many people coming out, helping, offering free services like that.
Yeah.
Then groups coming together, communities coming together, people helping within condo buildings or stuff like that, where there's helping the elderly, helping disabled people, saying, would you need anything? It seems like people are going back to being more of a community and caring about others more than before, when it seemed like everybody was in, a lot of people were in it for themselves all the time. So it's nice to see the helping.
It is.
And I think also that's it. Like, we're going through this now, and we need to come together as a community and spread kindness and love and support and help for others. And that's how we're going to get out of this. That's how I
100%. And it's really right that, it goes back to the old saying, it takes a tribe to raise a child. Well, it takes a tribe to survive in chaos as well. You need that group of people, right? Exactly what you said. It really does. The right people show up. So, all the moms call me, I said, no problem. You know what? My sister's an artist. Let me see if I can talk to her and, set up an art class and do it over Zoom. Maybe there is a minimal cost for her. Maybe she'll do it for free. I'm not sure. I'll discuss it with her. But just coming up with ideas, and the moms are like, oh my God, I'll pay for that. Just something to do with my kid, right? So it's really about how can we take what we know, our resources that we have, our contacts, and support each other right now. You know what?
Right. Yeah.
Money will come and go. Community is vital. And hopefully there's a lot of resources the government has talked about. Just be aware of what's out there. If you find a possibility, listen, even if you're not sure you're eligible for something that they're talking about, try anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
See if you
Yes.
are eligible. You don't know. I've learned one thing, always ask. What's the worst thing somebody could say no?
Exactly. Exactly. That's the worst thing. But you'll never get it if you don't ask.
Right. And so there's always room to ask. Just be okay with whatever decision you get. And if you're not, then find a nice way to approach it differently, or someone else to go to. It's all about how you act right now. If you are afraid, find someone to talk to, find somebody to vent to. Just don't hang on to it. Like you and I talked about, don't hang on to it. Don't let it fester inside of you that it affects you so much that you can't function. What are we going to do? It's like my husband, I know he gets stressed, and I say, listen, day by day, what are we going to do? This is what it is right now.
Yeah.
We can't change it.
We can't control any of that on the outside. And then the most important thing is to stay isolated and to stay safe so that we can minimize this wherever possible.
Right.
And really, we're at home, inside our homes. We're
Luckily,
not cold. We have food. Yeah, we have a home. We have food.
And you can order all of that stuff now.
We have internet. We have the Zoom technology that you can be social with people. Yep. Like, what is the, we have to be grateful for what we have. Yeah.
Exactly. We're very blessed, and I think we need to remember that. We need to remember how blessed we are. And people are always worried about disinfecting. It was so funny. A quick story. I did end up going to the Fortino's on the Friday the 13th. More because I needed groceries. It wasn't like to overstock. We did stock on a few things like pasta and whatever, but for the most part, we keep food around. So we were okay for most things. And it was interesting though, I noticed that all the disinfectants were gone, like all the wipes and stuff. You couldn't get any.
And they're still gone.
But you know what the funny thing is? Why are we so focused on disinfectant wipes? Buy a bottle of Javax and put a small percentage in a squirt bottle with some water. The best disinfectant you could have. So, wash your cloths out. It's really about touching counter space. Don't put your grocery bags on top. My husband actually goes to the next level. If he has to go grocery shopping, which we're not going to do anymore, we're going to order. He leaves the bags outside. He doesn't even bring the bags everybody else touches in the house. He takes the food out, and then everything's wiped down. And, he's being super cautious because my daughter wasn't well and her immune system isn't 100%. And that's fine. But the reality is that a little bit of bleach, it may not be the first choice, but hey,
it does kill everything.
2 tablespoons of bleach in a bottle this big of warm water, and you can completely disinfect everything. Or vinegar and water.
Yeah. True.
Right? So there's a lot of amazing solutions out there. If you're stressed about things like that, just don't overdo it, right? You don't need a lot of Javax.
And don't drink the bleach.
Yeah. Won't recommend that. But there's a lot of other solutions out there. So if you're worried about things like that, then there's some opportunity there, right? Like just, those plastic gloves that are available, go buy some kitchen gloves and use those when you're doing stuff and leave them by the door. Like there's so many ways to approach it.
Yes.
You don't need to feel a mode of absolute craziness.
No, we don't. And we did, I did go to the grocery store yesterday at Loblaws, and they're doing a great job making sure that everybody stays, and everybody was so respectful of their the distance that they're supposed to be, between us and everything like that. And then the lineup and then the plexiglass, so it is, it's being everybody's being as safe as, keeping that in mind.
I just don't gather in places. Like there was tons of people at Lakeshore.
Well, I drove through High Park on Saturday and it was packed. Every parking spot gone. And why are you going to a public park?
Yeah.
Where there's going to be people.
Here's what's happening is the government's actually going to put ruling down that if you start to do that, then you'll be charged.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that it's making it that nobody can go, right? You can't gather in places like that. Like we go to the schoolyard, and if we see other families coming, we go for a walk. We just leave. We don't say anything. We don't make a big deal out of it. You know, I'm going to protect my family. There's
Yeah.
lots of ways to approach things. You know, we all need turns to be outside. So just keep your distance
And
and
be respectful.
100%. And that's, you know, we say it's common courtesy, but I guess it's not common. It's just, we don't know where this is going. We don't know how it exactly works. So in the meantime, let's just be as supportive as we can to the situation. Stay sane, find things to do, find things to improve on what you're working on your life. We all have worries, financial, everything, but if you let it take over, it will. And if you
Yes.
don't and can be productive, it's amazing because business does show up. It's kind of incredible how things do show up. And so it showed up a few times for me, even this week, unexpectedly, of calls that I didn't expect to have turned
Right.
out wonderful. Actually turned out extremely productive and financially beneficial to me. But I wasn't starting the call with that thought process. It was actually given to me. So
Yeah.
opportunity is there. Abundance is there.
Yes.
I think it's really just do your thing and be really, really good at it, and really kind of give people some value, give them tips, offer up stuff like we're doing, and do your best to help people. Amazing things come when people take action. Amazing things show up for people when they're finding a way to help others, right? It
And
becomes
that's
very,
so true.
it too also becomes very contagious,
Well,
but
exactly. It
in a
does.
good
Yes.
way.
Yes.
So let's expand that contagion. Let's expand that giving contagiousness and helping others to, you know, be able to get through this, move forward, and hit the ground running when we're ready.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's perfect. Perfect way to end this. Thank you,
Awesome.
Carolyn. I
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I really appreciate you asking.
we will, you know, we will get through this, and
Mhm.
we're going to be better people after it too.
100%.
A better human community, you know, better global world, that kind of thing. So I
I
believe
agree.
that as well. All right, thank you so much, Carolyn, and I will put all your information underneath with the links and everything. So
Awesome.
thank you for your time, and goodbye, everybody.
Take care.